Hi there. Welcome to Small Business Coffee Break, the video series where we take a few minutes to work on your business, not just in it. Today we talk with Jeffrey Daitz about if foreign corporations have to follow the same employment laws as U.S. corporations. Jeffrey has over 20 years of experience with employment and labor law, so grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Jeff, so, as we're talking about education and training, one of the things that we have, especially here in South Florida, are a lot of either owners who are from foreign countries, first generation here, or foreign companies who aren't quite always up to verse on, the way that the American system for employment and employment law works. Is it, does the law apply equally to all of those people?
So, to make it simple, the answer is yes. The law is that some people, and there's a lot of foreign corporations that are doing business in America now, but if they have their own cultural feelings, cultural background, and they still feel the cultural background, this is the way it was back home, this applies here. The answer to that is no. The law doesn't have caveats and exceptions and exclusions, or policies don't have that, right? The law is anybody doing work in the United States. These laws apply. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act applies. It doesn't say it applies to this company because you're an American company. It applies to anybody doing business in the United States. So there's obviously a cultural barrier with sometimes companies coming in and doing business. So you've got companies coming in and doing business in Florida, but they have to adapt to understanding that the laws, the federal laws and state-specific and local laws apply to them here. Prime example of somebody I knew years ago was not from this country, and his viewpoint in saying why he wanted to get rid of people, to terminate people, he would terminate them by actually saying the protected class. I'm terminating you because of your age. I'm terminating you because you are pregnant. He says, because back home, I could do and say anything I want. This is my business. And I said, as long as you were doing business in America, the American laws apply. So he said, okay, so there was an educational curve that he needed. So yes, foreign corporations must understand that the American laws do in fact apply, and you need to get up to speed and educated.
And we might even say, I might want to encourage more of my foreign owned or foreign corporations to go through training here in the United States so they could be aware of the differences. Because it's not a question of, I know as a small business owner, when people start saying things to you like, I can't do what I want in my business. This is my business, I can do whatever I want. This is America. I don't disagree. This is America, and this is my business. I can pretty much do anything I'd like. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to be held to a higher set of standards than those I may have thought I was holding myself to. And that's what we're talking about mitigation here.
Yes.
Right? We're not talking about a business being forced to do something. We're talking about a business protecting, like we were talking earlier. My perspective in the insurance world is that if you have two pennies to rub together, there's an opposing person out there who's trying to take one of those pennies, if not both of those pennies, from you. And our job is to help you retain as much of that as possible. So the question here isn't about intruding in your business. The question here is about being over cumbersome as part of your business. The question is about making smart decisions that keeps your business running, which is all we want. Small business owners just want to be successful.
Right, and there's no reason to be doling out money in lawsuits because you're not willing to adapt and understand that these laws apply to you.
And make simple changes.
And jurors in mediation, if these cases are mediated, arbitrated, or if they're in front of a jury isn't going to give you a pass because you're a foreign corporation doing business in the United States. It's not going to work that way. Damages are damages. A verdict is a verdict, okay? Punitive damages are punitive damages. So the damages are out there regardless of where you're from. So the cultural issues, you have to understand. Cultural issues, adapt, train, educate. The same as if you're an American company.
If you have any questions you'd like to ask Jeffrey, I put his contact information in the description. If you have any questions you'd like me to ask Jeffrey or any other professional in their field, my contact information is also in the description. See you next week for another cup of coffee and more questions answered.